another episode of Rise Urban Nation. Man, I am excited for this brother that is coming to the microphone today that you guys are going to get to know. And like just the amazing things that he's doing. I'm probably sure you probably got more than just Aphase, the shirt company that I got to know you from the pitch competition. But we'll get to know all about this brother, Marcus Burton. Did I said it right?
Right, that's it, Marcus Burton. But as a designer, Mark Xavier.
Ooh, all
That's the name right
right.
there.
How did Xavier get in there? Like, how did that come
That's
to
my
be?
middle name.
Oh, I
That's my
didn't
middle
even
name.
know. All right, Professor Xavier.
Yep, Professor X. Yep, X Men. That's my stuff right there.
All right. So, welcome. For those who don't know who you are, tell the people who is Marcus Xavier.
All right, so I am a fashion designer by trade. That's my original passion,
Uh huh.
as you can see.
Okay, look at you.
Right, and I'm a student as well. It's very
Uh
important. I'm a student, and I'm also a business owner.
hmm
And what I do is I screen print. I screen print for trade. If somebody needs a design, I do graphic design and I screen print.
uh How did you get in? Because I mean, I feel like when I was growing up and when I was in school, like, although there was like all these different T-shirts and people making T-shirts, I didn't really know about it. How did you get into this world? Like, how did you like learn and just get involved in it? Did your
Mhm.
mom just have sewing machines around and screen printing machines around? Like, how did this happen?
So it's kind of close. It's my grandmother or my great grandmother. It's her sewing machine. And I was just like, you know what? I want to make these pants. I can't find them anywhere, but I want to make them. So I asked her for the sewing machine. I got some fabrics, did what I could, and I kind of got away with it. I made my first pair of pants, and it was decent enough for me to keep making clothes,
Okay.
you know. And as I'm sewing, I'm realizing that, dang, none of these clothes say my name or my brand. So then I was like, dang, I got to learn how to screen print. The
Nice.
screen printing is like the key, The screen printing is a profitable industry. So
Nice.
I learned that, and it just took my whole time away. I haven't sewed in months because
Uh,
screen printing is so important to me right now.
there.
And yeah, that just started with just going on YouTube, of course, just like anyone else would do. Go on YouTube and just learn. So that's how it started.
Wait, you was able to learn the whole let me get this straight. You was able to learn this whole process from YouTube? For real?
Definitely from you, definitely from YouTube. The amount of people post, if you just if you just try to apply it, you don't have to have all the tools, but if you just get some tools at a time, and that back then I wasn't paying rent either, so I was just going to work and using that money and buying supplies. Next thing you know, I got like a little setup in the garage. The garage is where everything happens.
I'm always amazed about how much you can learn just through like YouTube and social media. Like somebody was telling me that before, like, hey, like, I know we say knowledge is in books, but knowledge is in like there's knowledge to be had in social media, YouTube and online as well too. Just the same amount of knowledge you get in these books is the same amount of knowledge you can get online if you really invest your time and you want to learn something, you can learn it. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
always
definitely agree.
yeah, I'm always shocked and surprised. So, tell me, like, how'd you come up with a phase, the name, and some of these concepts? How'd you do that?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So originally, the brand was going to be called Twin Star,
Twin Star. Okay.
and that name came to me. I was talking to one of my friends, and at the time, I was in like a collective. And we were trying to build a magazine, and we wanted to name the magazine Twin Star. But I also wanted to do clothes, so I was like, all right, we'll do both: Twin Star magazine and clothing.
Hmm.
All the people fell out though. Everyone fell out. So now I got this company or this name, and I'm just running with it. But it didn't feel like mine at the time.
Hmm.
I wasn't really like connected with it because it was born through other people. So I used to do these markets for my mom. She has a soap company, the Old Town Soap Company. I used to do pop up markets on Saturdays, and right beside me was another vendor, and her name was Dawn, and she does spiritual twist. That's the name of it. She does spiritual items. The headphone came out. Sorry about that.
Nah, no worries, no worries. We're gonna get it back in.
Yeah, it's
Small
all right.
technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm. Like, real quick, my ears are like weird. So like the smallest earbud still doesn't fit, so it'll pop, it'll fall out. That's
Oh,
why I'm
we
always
need to get you
yeah.
the headphones.
Need to get the headset. Yeah. All right. Well, back to it. So I'm right. I'm working for my mom. I'm at the vending. Got a vendor beside me. She does spiritual stuff, and I'll always talk to her, just telling her how I think and what's going on in my life. And one moment, I said a phase. I was going through a phase, or it's just a phase. Then I stopped and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "That's it. The brand is a phase." And she was like, "Oh, I like that because when you're wearing clothes and as you grow and change, you're in different phases."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, that's true. I wasn't even thinking like that. A phase." So it started building itself. Like the name was growing itself. So that's why I was like, "Yeah, this is the one right here for
Yeah.
sure."
I feel like even fashion has phases to it, right? Like,
Hmm.
and sometimes those phases even repeat itself. Remember when back in the day it was about baggy clothes, and now you start to see people have some more baggy clothes come into effect. There was a point upon a time where fitted was in, and then like
Hmm.
it goes through these cycles and phases, right? Depending
Exactly.
on what's going on in culture and life and so forth. It's I
I
like
heard somebody I heard somebody say that since it's 2020, we got so many trends coming into so many things that we can like look at. That nostalgia is the strongest one. So when all those old trends are gonna last longer because now there's just so many trends.
that.
Those ones are more impactful.
Yeah, so true, so true, so true.
Hmm.
Um, so tell me about how you got into because I mean, of course, we met at the pitch competition. How did you get involved with that? What was your process like of getting into there, and
Hmm.
what was the program like for you when in terms of helping you grow as a founder?
Yeah, so the program was really impactful for me and really important part of my life, a important phase of my life.
A
I got,
phase.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got to throw it in. It's almost to the point to where it's like, I don't want to say it's like cliche for me now, but I can use it so much. It's just, it can get annoying on my end if you hanging out with me, you know, just calling everything a phase. Everything's a phase.
Uh,
But I was connected. I was well connected, somebody close, and I got into the program and they liked my initial interview. As I get in there, I don't really know what I'm getting into. It's my first time actually stepping out and learning about business. Everything else was just, grinding. Oh, I'm making this in the garage, selling it to my friends. Nothing's like super steady. I had my mom there. My mom is there to help me, and because she has a business too, so she was walking me through some things, but I never got the education. This program pretty much taught me everything I needed to know.
mm,
Like they taught me steps of getting clients, getting information, financial models, taking care of yourself, your mental health. There's
mm,
so many different things. And it really is an accelerator because over the 4 months, like I've matured mentally because I know what it takes to be at this certain level. So I'm like, dang, before I didn't know what it took. After going through that, learned a lot.
yeah. So, and for those who are just logging in, we're talking about his growth journey. Um, he just finished the entrepreneurship. What's the full name of the program? I know it's with Jacobs, but I can never for the life of me remember the full name of this program.
I think it's the startup Jacob Center Connect All Accelerator.
That
Jake, it's a startup, man.
Yeah,
It's an
it's like
accelerator,
a
man.
startup accelerator program, and it really, man, I didn't even know going back to what you were saying earlier that they go into the life, the mental aspect of it too. I thought it was just all straight business,
Hmm.
so they
Well,
really
that's
help with
just
you.
yeah. Certain instructors, they're being honest with you. They're telling you how it is. So
Yeah,
they know that they need their mental health. So they're gonna spread that awareness in that game. That's what I liked about it. It was people being genuine,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because like the road to entrepreneurship, sometimes it's glamorified and glorified. Like so, all of these young people they seeing it online, they only see all the good stuff, but they don't know like the grind that it takes and the phases you have to go through. No
Hmm.
point intended to get
Yeah,
each level of success in your business and creating a certain product. And when you go back on it, you're gonna look at this phase and be like, hey, I remember when I was at that phase. Now I'm at this phase, and here's where we're going to next. Um,
right.
what would you say to this like somebody who is a young person who's hearing your story and saying, you know what, because Marcus was able to start his journey to entrepreneurship, if he could do it, I could do it. What would you say to them? What's some advice you would give?
I would say stick to your vision. I
Stick to
think
your
you
vision.
even told me that.
Yeah.
It's just about the vision because if you're not following that initial idea, that passion can't grow because you keep having to change it. You keep having to change it based on what everyone else is doing around you. But if you wanted something, you have nothing else to do for yourself but go get it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's kind of how I saw it too, because I'm like, man, all these obstacles. Like I moved to San Diego, my business was already going on. I moved out here just to make it grow,
Mm.
and I'm trying to keep that vision alive. So if you're trying to do it, it's like, what does it take? And just being committed to that. Just do it for yourself too. Do that for yourself. Stay committed for yourself.
Man. Oh, I didn't even know you moved out here from somewhere. I thought you was always locally here in San Diego. Where'd you move from?
Temecula. So
Temecula.
that's where I spent. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how my life went because I'm a Navy brat.
Yeah.
32nd Street Navy brat,
Oh.
right? You know what I'm saying? So I was born in Hawaii. My parents were stationed there.
Uh-huh.
Moved to San Diego at a very young age. So I'm about 6 or 7. Then I moved to Japan for 3 years.
Japan? Oh man,
Yeah,
that's different.
yeah. So get back from Japan. I'm out here for 1 year in Point Loma, and then I'm in Temecula for the next 10 years.
Uh,
Right, beginning of January, I came out here,
uh-huh.
moved into an apartment. So now this is like my city again. I'm back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, now you
Yeah,
about to ready to run the sea like Diddy.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Man, so uh, having all that travel as a Navy brat and then getting all those different experiences, does it have anything to do with your brand and style of what you create? Do you take elements from all those different things you experience in life, or um how does it help with that creative process?
I think it's subconscious.
Uh-huh.
It's not like I'm doing it on purpose, but certain things that speak to me, they speak to me because of my experience,
Yeah.
and that's where my brand gets really spiritual. Because a phase is as spiritual as you can get for a brand.
Yeah.
For a business, it's almost like when I was in Japan, there was energies out there that I wasn't even aware of at the time.
Uh
And that impacted me. So now I'm out here, and I have a shirt similar to this,
yeah.
but it's with a cherry blossom tree. I
Uh
wasn't I wasn't I wasn't thinking of Japan when I made that tree, when I
uh-huh.
designed it, but it stuck with me since I was around it so much that it just came out. I just designed it, and next thing you know, it's like I can look back and say, "Oh, that reminds me of when I was younger
Yeah.
in Japan." You
Yeah.
know?
I
Hmm.
can see that. I can see that. What are you most proud of in your past?
Oof. I think remaining myself.
Remaining
You know,
yourself.
yeah, because like just growing up, you go through so much that could change your character and change your perception of life, and you can kind of forget your childhood, forget your youth.
Hmm.
And I think I always try to connect to like who I was when I was younger,
Yeah.
and that could be because I'm still young. I'm only 22, so maybe it's just because I'm at this point in life. But
Uh-huh.
I think being able to accomplish things and remember just even like high school basketball, football, and still connect with those memories is so important because you can really just forget about all the when you was low. You
Yeah.
know, when you didn't have none, you can really forget that, and it's like good. It's like staying humble in a way.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah. So that's what I think I value that the most.
That it's like staying
You
humble,
know.
staying grounded,
Yeah.
tapping into, those energies that make you who you are and where you came from. So I like that.
hmm
When you think about one thing that you want to accomplish, what obstacles do you need to overcome in order to do it?
Financial obstacles are always the obstacle for me. It's always the pocket, man. Because it'd be annoying. Like right now, my Spotify shut down. I got regular Spotify.
Wow,
I
man.
can't even skip songs. So
You
like
got
that's just the real. It's just
you got here the
realities, man.
commercials and everything.
Yeah, had me messed up all day, all day. But like just simple stuff like that, because ideas can't they can't become reality unless you got some bread.
Yeah, and you
It's,
definitely on your
yeah.
way because you got the ideas, and I think if you surround the right people around you to help you execute on the ideas, and not just the ideas, but the execution part is the most important part that will then get you to the bag and then get you to the other things that you're
hmm
trying to bring to fruition. Um, and so I would stay, keep encourage you just to keep at the vision, like we said earlier. And anybody else who's hearing this, keep at the vision,
Yeah.
because it'll lead you there, and it'll give you the lessons that you need to get to the next step. What words of encouragement would you share with someone who feels stuck? Because I know a lot of people when they're going through their
hmm
entrepreneurship journey or their development journey, sometimes they get to those points of getting stuck, whether it be stuck because of a financial thing or stuck because of a mental thing. So
Right. Right.
what would be words of encouragement you would share with someone who feels stuck?
Yeah, man. So when it comes to mental blocks, creative blocks, and just wanting to express yourself when you feel like you can't, to me, your expressions come out when they're most important, when they need to come out.
Hmm.
So it's okay to be blocked. Let yourself be blocked,
Yeah.
just stop, just let it go, and it'll come back to you. If it's yours, it'll come back to you. And that's kind of how I am, because right now I got some projects and I haven't even been able to do it, but it's okay. And when it comes to finances, if you want to do it, you can figure out a way, even if it takes a while.
Hmm.
But like this year, I acquired screen printing equipment this year, so now I have like an actual shop in my garage.
Mm.
But that's because I was blessed. My mother helped me, and
Hmm.
I didn't have those financial tools.
Yeah.
But I had the people around me to help me.
Hmm.
So now it's like, whoa, I'm able to get these things without even having my pockets right. But that's just because I'm staying so dedicated to what I need and being so trustworthy. My mom trusts me because she knows I'm dedicated to it. So there's other ways to get to where you want without the financial, pocket.
Yeah, and I love that you been able to stay strappy, been able to stay kind of nimble with like making sure that you one get the resources and the right support around you or tap into the support around you and then be able to still move forward with your dream and your vision by using what you have and then um, looking outside, thinking outside of the box to see what else can I do, like getting into programs like this program that you just finished,
hmm
tapping into your mom who's also in business. So I love that. I say that's one of the great skills you have about you, is that you're very resourceful. Um, what's the skill that you think everyone should have and why?
I really value being a sponge and listening and just really soaking up game because I listen to podcasts just to hear people with
Uh-huh.
their experiences, listening to different phases, being
That,
open minded to other people. That's so important. You can't just be out here with your door
mm,
closed. How you gonna let things in? How you gonna let the sun shine? You got
yeah,
the windows all locked up, just all everything tinted, it's all cold in the house. Like, come on.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like yeah.
even though you're not ready for the day, it cannot always be night. Let the windows open, get the sunshine in.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you can't open it all the way, just let it crack or something.
Yeah.
Cause like just listen to people. Cause even if it's hard to hear, sometimes when I hear people tell me they don't like a design or even if I'm spending too much time in one place and I'm not spending my time somewhere else, it's hard for me to hear, hard for me to like stomach that.
Yeah.
But I just have to let myself be open to it, you know.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
like I think me and you had a private conversation about this. Like sometimes people, when you're sharing your inspiration, your passion, your design, your creativity with people, sometimes people may not get it because the vision wasn't meant for them, and that's okay too. You can still take the feedback, but take the feedback with a grain of salt. Of like, am do I is that the piece that piece that they're critiquing me on? Is that the thing that I was still iffy about or having trouble with, or is do I like it that way, and that's the vision that I'm trying to bring forth, and where could I critique the things that I was, you know,
Hmm.
wasn't as clear on, or I thought I was clear on until somebody pointed out. I was like, "Ooh, you know what? That do sound fire. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
change that." Right?
yeah. I think, and that's why it's good to have good people around you too. You know, who will tell you those things. Because like my girl be telling me straight up too, and you know she don't really care about some stuff, so she'd be like, "No, I don't really think that's a good idea," or "You need to change that," and I just got to listen. I just got
Right.
to be like, "All right, yeah."
Right. And that's always what I kind of tell people, like having the right people around you that you listen to, and going back to our like open the light and so forth. Sometimes
Hmm.
people when they get in certain situations that they're not as excited about things in life, or the things they were excited about in life didn't happen for them. They have a
Mm,
hard time really seeing somebody else's vision that they're excited about and giving them good, you know, hope, feedback, and all that good stuff that
right.
that people are seeking for, or seeking validation for, sometimes from the wrong people, right? If
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Definitely. And it's like it's hard to have high vibrations when you're feeling low. You know, you can't
Ooh,
fake it. You can't fake it.
look,
Yeah.
that I love to
Yeah.
think about that. It's hard to have high vibrations when you're feeling low. Ooh, so you gotta change your vibrations. So how do you change your
Hmm.
vibrations? Like what do you do?
All right. So I'm gonna show you with my hand.
Look,
So this is the vibration, right?
uh,
That's the vibration.
look,
You know it's gonna come back up. So it's just a matter of being present in that phase you're in. You
ooh,
don't control it. You
that,
don't control it. Trying to control it will keep you low.
ooh.
You know?
So
Yeah. That's
saying
why it's a phase, man.
that.
Just stay in the phase.
Stay in the phase. Here's another twist to that. So, when we're listening to music and we're vibing out, we're in the vibration. That's a frequency. And
Right.
so and to stay in tune, you have to be in the moment. So you have to be in that to ride
Mm,
the frequency. So, ooh, I see what you're seeing. You got
that's true. That's
hey,
very I like that too. Because the music, like people listen to music, make you want to dance, even if you sad.
hey,
Right.
hey. It's like then where you start to hit that rejection phase, or that wall, is when you want to dance to this, but nah, you too busy like
Oh man, that's like
controlling.
them dudes at the club or something who be on the wall. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, bro, you know, you want to get out here.
Like you could be over here vibing, having a good time, but you choose to be in this phase like, I'm too good for this. I'm over here
Yeah.
saying point that, right? And then now you bitter because you missed out on the moment. And you didn't get the vibe in the
Right.
moment.
Yeah. The song over now.
Right.
Oh man, it's funny.
Oh man. So what are you most excited about in this next year?
Man, I really want to. I've been in this art class and just learning more about arts. I want to really just connect with the art community in San Diego,
Yeah.
just because it's really big, and especially with the black community too, just embracing the arts and just putting it on in spotlights and just showing out for it, popping up, because at the end of the day, self expression is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to survive in our society is difficult if you can't express yourself. So
Yeah.
that's my lane. That's where I want to stay in for my brand. And when people think of me, they're like, "Oh, this is art. This is creativity."
Yeah.
So just help people express themselves by seeing me express myself.
Gotcha. I love that, helping
Mm-hmm.
people express themselves, and especially in this day and age in society. I feel like ever since George Floyd happened, these past 2 years, people are in tune to like really understanding their vibrations and what is necessary for them, and being more vocal about like or trying to learn how to be more vocal about what it is that they need in life, and how to sustain, obtain, and communicate that. So I love that this is the route you're going. Um,
Mm-hmm.
on the flip end of that, there's some people vocalizing some stuff that like is a little negative too.
Right.
so
Yeah, it
so
comes with it. It comes with it like both ways. It's just, it's almost like there's always going to be, as for as much light there is, there's always going to be the same amount of dark,
yeah.
you know? So it's not like it's not going to be there, like negativity, especially like rap and hip hop and just the culture of it.
Hmm.
It's a lot of people saying stuff that if everyone was in that situation, no one would be happy,
Yeah.
you know, but it's like glorified, right?
Yeah.
It's real glorified. So it is tricky when you like tell, oh, it's just art, it's just expression, but you also sending messages too. You're sending energies out,
Hmm.
and those energies come back to you. That's like karma, obviously. So which
Yeah.
one do you want to have, right? Like positive or negative?
Yeah. And then it's just us as consumers being more mindful of that too. That what when you start to consume those energies, you absorb some of those energies, and sometimes from absorbing those energies, you can start to feel a certain kind of way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember, because I remember this clearly. I remember like um, when after a little bit after George Floyd happened, and then all the stuff that was coming on my phone, on my feed, my friends sending me all that stuff, and I was like, "Look,
Mm,
don't send me no more negative energy about people getting shot up. Oh, you don't want to be informed? Yeah, I'm overly informed now. It's messing up
right.
my energy. I can't, I can't vibrate at a higher frequency or recognize the higher frequency if I'm
Mm,
always being overly consumed with these low frequencies."
yeah, it's like the food you eat. You can't
Yeah,
always eat junk food, man. You
yeah,
gotta eat some vegetables,
yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah.
all about balance. So now we talked about
Mm-hmm.
the things you're most excited for.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most nervous about in the future? And when you think about what you're nervous about, how can you really
Mm-hmm.
prepare for it?
I think I'll be nervous if I can't live in San Diego. I'll be like, that's one thing that make me nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I love it here so much. Maybe it's because I've been in Temecula so long that now that I'm here, I'm just like falling
Yeah.
in love with it all over again. But like, I want to be able to have a sustainable life, regardless
Mhm.
of what I'm doing. You know, even if my brand never blows up and I'm just a screen printer doing service, I'm okay with
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right? You know, I just want to be able to like. Right now, I got a nice apartment. I'm chilling, but I want to be able to afford it and afford the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you know, just thinking about, dang, will that happen with our economy, where every way everything's going?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? So that makes me nervous. That does make me nervous.
Yeah. The economy is crazy, especially here in San Diego. I think I saw on the news that we were like one of the top most expensive places to live, something like that.
Hmm.
I was like, man, that's crazy.
You just hear, so you're like, what?
Man. um,
That's funny.
like shoot, at this rate, we're gonna to afford the place to live. People gonna have to collaborate with each other, like or bunk up or get a roommate or
Hmm.
like, hey, we're gonna half on this place together.
Oh, shout out Room Chasers. She was a fellow in my cohort.
Yeah, shout out the room
Yeah,
chasers in the cohort.
yeah,
I'm about to get on the podcast one of these days. I know she's shy about like speaking on it.
yeah.
I'm trying to challenge her to get out of that.
I thought her business was a great business, especially with the way things are going. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Especially for those who are trying to just find a way to afford to live in expensive counties or cities. So I love that idea as well. Um, Speaking of shouting out and collaborations, like what have you ever collaborated with anybody? With
Mm, kind of on a large scale, no, but like I'll print for my friends and I'll help them out and I'll do stuff, but
Mhm.
a lot of my projects were like, oh, I have some people come over and do a photo shoot, but I've never like came together. and like really just dove in on something.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on a design for one of my mechanic friends right now,
Oh, really?
and right, really, and one of my coworkers, his brother, is also a designer,
Uh-huh.
and he used to be in the automotive industry. His name is Justin, and
Shout
I
out to
can,
Justin.
yeah, I could share his information too because I like sharing people's information. I love sharing other workers and artists and creators. But I want to actually collab with him because he knows the mechanic industry, you know,
Yeah.
and he's a designer. So I'm like, perfect, bro. Let's get on this job for this guy. Let's make his whole brand. Let's create for him, design for him. So we're gonna do that.
I love that. I love that. Um, what I mean, when you collaborate with people, well, what's the some of the lessons you probably learned? Because I know the first collaboration didn't happen, you know, with the magazine and so forth. But going into
Mm.
this and seeing that you probably have more experience with collaboration. What have been some things that you've learned in past experience or current experience when you collaborate with others?
So for me, collaboration, the biggest thing is to not have your set end goal.
Okay.
Don't be set on a goal. Even for my own projects, I don't try to get set on an end goal because
Mm-hmm.
then you can get fixated. I want to really just see where this would go if me and this person made something. So I
Yeah.
got to be like really open again. Oh, this is what you want to add to it. There's probably a reason for that. You know, I can't just shut it down. I can't just be like, oh, but this is what I wanted. It's like relationships. It's find a compromise. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's difficult, that's the best way to collab because it's not even worth it if you're not trying to do that.
Yeah. I agree. You know, I think the hardest part too with collaborations, or what you just went through, is like the criticism piece, or you know, the way people critique it, and just learning to learn the lessons from whatever that critique is. Something that you went through with the pitch competition. Something we kind of talked
Mm-hmm.
about earlier when we was going through our conversation, um, uh, leading up to here. Um, why is it important to know, like for you, how to overcome criticism so that you can make, you know, the right decisions to your
Yeah.
brand and business?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I get criticism at first, my guard goes straight up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what you mean? Like what? I'm like, what you talking about? But then it's like that's just my ego, you know. That's just my ego getting in front of me, and then I
Mhm.
got to think like, all right, well, what's the outside perspective? Got to be the fly on the wall. You know, take
Uh-huh.
a step back, like chill. Don't get too worked up over it. It's okay. And then it's just like, oh, okay, I see what they're trying to say. I see what someone's trying to say. You
Gotcha.
know, but just you got to check yourself sometimes because you'd be like, what? You like, what you talking about, bro? What you mean you don't like it? Yeah.
Yeah, the ego can mess with you in that way, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you know, you want this. This is your baby. This is the thing that you love, and you pour your
Mm-hmm.
heart into it, and then for somebody else to come in, you know, just
That's
critique
what
it a little
Alex.
bit.
That's what Alex was doing.
But
See, Alex was on me. He was telling me, he was like, when I was trying to figure out my target audience, I kept saying people who want this. And he's like, no, you just got to stop doing that. And then I was like, all right, well, let me try again. I said, people who want this. He's like, no. He's like, you can't say people. That's too general. You need to pick a target audience.
yeah,
And I'm
like
like,
who are these
man,
people? And if they want it so much, why are you here?
yeah, I couldn't get through that, but I did eventually. But it was just it took me so much for the simplest thing.
Yeah, I guess I could tell, like when you gave your pitch, like you had rehearsed and practiced it several times to get it to where it was at, which seems like it was a journey. What have you?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like this past year has been like the year of learning for you and a lot of different changes. What have you learned about yourself in the past year?
I think I learned how responsible I could be.
Yeah.
Definitely. Moved into my apartment, having to pay bills for the first time, like consistently. Man, this September I paid like close to 1K each month.
Oh,
And
gee.
for me, yeah, that's an accomplishment too.
Yeah.
You know, that's so I'm like, wow, I could do that. Taking
Uh-huh.
care of my dog, keeping him fed. He may go a night without some food, but you know, I'm
Uh,
trying. I'm
yeah.
trying, and taking care. Like it's my first year in an actual relationship too, like long term committed relationship. So I'm learning about my emotions.
Uh-huh.
It's everything. It's everything's changing, and you know, staying in touch with family when you're not with them anymore is difficult. You got
Yeah.
to really reach out and just feeling those different burdens and emotional, you know,
Connections. Yeah.
yeah, all that, man. It's crazy. It's so much. It's so much.
Man, you don't like to ease your way into things. You just like jumping into everything. Like you like I'm gonna get out on my own. I'm gonna get into a relationship. I'm gonna start a new business. I'm gonna get a dog. Like you got
Hmm.
everything going on at once. Like I was like, man,
You know what? This year, I sold 6 golden retrievers.
are you serious?
Yeah,
How
people may
did
not like that, but it just happened, man. I had 2 golden retrievers. They had babies, and then I had to get rid of the rest of the dogs.
like,
And I had to do what I had to do. But that was this year too, and that was stressful because I'm like, I got 6 puppies.
like,
And at the time, I moved out, so they were with my mom and my sister still. I felt so bad because I left them with the puppies,
uh,
and I'm over here chilling in the apartment. But it's so much guilt that like I learned like, okay, that even though that's stress and all the guilt, you can get through it.
like,
But yeah, man. But I
yeah,
do like jumping into things.
yeah, but that I mean that's also the responsible thing to do. Find them a good home so that that they're well taken care of and they have somebody to love on them. So I
Hmm.
although there was that guilt, you also you stepped up to do the right thing overall. That was best for everybody involved. So the moms ain't gotta be stressed out, and the dogs get a good home in the meantime.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, man. One of the dogs is living better than any of us. Traveling the world, swimming at the beach on a surfboard, like different countries, different cities, man.
The dogs living their best life, so they thank you. They thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into like your this the phase where I usually like to jump in is to see like your career journey and projection.
Hmm.
And A lot of young people sometimes when they're coming straight out of high school, they they have a vision of what their career is going to be like. Like say if they said I'm gonna be a designer and I'm gonna just go straight into the design industry, I'm gonna do that, and they don't realize that sometimes there's levels to this and this is a journey. It'll always happen like so the best
Hmm.
times you might have to start on that Mickey D's job while you're doing this at the same
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I like
Oof.
to give them the journey like of what it's like to go from having that first job to getting your first screen printing and starting the company and so forth or whatever the aspirations are. So for you, what was your first job? Just out of curiosity, your first job.
You almost had it, man. You said McDonald's. My first job was Carl's Jr.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I swear. Hmm.
I would have never guessed that. So wait, what did you do at Carl's Jr.?
I was cashier. Working the drive-through cashier. I did it for like 2 months over the
Like,
summer.
okay.
It was pretty cool though. And then my friend was with me, so it was just weird being in that first job. You're just like, all right, this is what we do. Just
Man,
cleaning tables, changing the napkin filters.
like
It's just that
now
fast food job.
now do you think even though it was the first job, right? And a lot of people sometimes say, "Oh, it was just the first job." Is there anything that you think that you learned about yourself or maybe business process wise from that first job? Did you say that you kind of you learned in that time period or process?
It's kind of hard because like at the time I was playing football,
Yeah.
and football is like a job too.
Yeah.
So I didn't really notice a big difference from working there. It was actually like an easier thing to do than football.
Uh,
But I could say a job I did learn a lot was when I was a lifeguard at Pachanga,
okay.
and that job was like just for me to even get the lifeguard. I had to pass a test,
Hmm.
and I could tell you like one thing I really like, value, and it still sticks with me is I'm not comfortable with barely getting by.
Yeah.
And when I took my lifeguard test, if we got 7 wrong, we passed
Yeah.
on the test. 7 is the most you can get wrong. I got 7 wrong.
Uh-huh.
At the time, my dad was like, "You should be happy you passed." But I was like, "Man, I barely passed.
Uh-huh.
One question would have threw me off. One different question."
Yeah.
So now, when I barely get by on something, like I'm gonna tell you, I was barbecuing, right? And the coal wasn't heating up. So I grabbed the lighter fluid, put the lighter fluid in the grill. Next thing you know, all I saw was bright orange and red and yellow. My eyelashes were like burned off. My hair was a little burned. And I was so upset because I barely got by.
Yeah.
And the first thing I was like, dang, my face could have been gone. The first thing I thought about was when I took that lifeguard test
Uh-huh.
because I barely got by. So like, that's one thing I learned about working and just being in the industry is like, I'm not comfortable barely getting by. I want to be able to feel like comfortable. Like I did what I needed to do to
Yeah.
succeed.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that drive and hunger, and that you have for like not wanting to barely get by is going to help you like stand apart from others too. So, thank you for sharing that with us.
Hmm.
So, you're going to inspire some young person who's going to hear your story, and you know the fact that you've been able to do at such a young age, what you've been able to do so far, go participate in this pitch competition where you got great resources, mentors, new connections now. Um, they're gonna want to follow their dream, just like you've been able to kind of keep your dream alive and going. What were the steps that you think you took to get to where you're at right now, and in your career, and helping to make this dream more of a reality?
Definitely, it's okay to work a job if you have a dream. You know, your job can help your dream, but find the right job that's in the right industry is what I really try to do. So for
Yeah,
me to learn screen printing, I started working at a screen printing shop.
yeah,
They gave me all the tools I needed to know. They taught me everything, you know. So that was a big step for me, just to give me that confidence to feel like, oh, this is something I can do. I could
yeah,
run my own business. I see the business running every day.
yeah.
So I think that is just like staying in that industry you want to be in,
Yeah.
if that's your dream.
Yeah, I think that's really good, sound and practical advice because just being in that industry will help you not only gain the knowledge, but hopefully gain contacts and resources in that industry that allow you to grow and advance in that industry and build those relationships in that industry. So I
Hmm.
love that. I love that. Um, what's one good lesson life has taught you?
One good lesson life has taught me, besides the whole phase stuff, you know,
We got to bring it back to
you
the
know,
clothing
it's
line.
all a phase. Nah, but man, I don't know. I think it's like there's always gonna be a battle at some point in your life. You know,
Uh-huh.
there's always gonna be a should I do this or should I do that? Why do I feel this? Why don't I feel that? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? And like even for me, growing up, like my relationship with my father was decent. It was good, right?
Mhm.
And now my later years, when my life is going well for me, the relationship isn't as good.
Uh,
So it's just seeing. I'm just seeing like I guess the flip sides to everything. And I guess I'm just an observer. I try to observe things. So
yeah.
that's like a valuable thing to me because when I observe, I take the time and I don't just react. And trying not to be reactive is really important because you know you
Yeah.
might react and mess your whole life up, end up behind bars forever because you reacted.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great lesson anybody can take. You know, taking that pause to um, sit, observe, not only just observe what's going on externally, but internally. What are you feeling like? Observe what's going on, so that then you can properly respond to whatever the situation may be.
Hmm.
And I think that that helps with anything in life, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, what's some advice you would give for somebody who wants to start a career, or a young person who wants to start a career in your industry?
If you're gonna get into screen printing, learn all your questions. Learn all your questions and know all your questions as you grow. So as you're growing, you got a question, find the answer and find it however you need to. You don't need to go to school if you don't want to. Just find the answer because where you're gonna get, especially in screen printing, this is where you're gonna lose money. When you go to someone else to print and they're telling you, oh, this is how much everything's gonna be, and you're just like, all right. But if you know the process, you know the questions to ask and you
Mhm.
know how to save your money. You know, like I even messed up myself. I took a job that wasn't profitable. I could have asked somebody who could help me and help me get a better price. I told him later, and he was like, "Here, I'm gonna help you out." Right? So I didn't ask any questions. I just said, "Okay." But if I would have asked some questions first, I could have saved myself some money and made some money. But I didn't. So I think asking questions and trying to find the answer is so important for any person in almost any industry, but especially screen printing.
Yeah. Um, like if you're getting into screen printing, because I mean, I don't know what I don't know. I'm not familiar with the screen printing space. What are the like, the right questions to ask? Like, um,
Mm,
I guess is the question that comes to mind for me when you say that, because I was like, yeah, learn my questions, but what are the right questions to ask? What are some questions that, I mean, that you've asked that's helped you to be more successful in learning the right things, and or just doing your homework, right? Like
hmm
what type of homework should I be doing to learn about this industry?
Okay, so question is, how do you burn a screen without washing the design out?
Uh,
Because when you burn a screen, you have to get water on the screen to wash your design. But if you don't have the right burn time, your screen will dissolve
uh,
and you won't be able to have your design. It won't be crisp. So just learning how to tune your equipment,
uh,
learning how to, oh, what kind of ink do I need for this design? Would this ink be okay if I use a higher mesh count? There's so many different ways to print, and knowing your softwares, knowing your programs, knowing how to use Illustrator, not Photoshop for certain designs, and knowing how to talk to your customers, knowing how to have client relationships. And I guess it's hard to find the question until you run into it for me too, because like there's still stuff I don't know.
yeah,
And yeah, there's still a lot of questions I even have, right?
right.
But when I really have the question, I figure out how to get it.
Yeah. But I think the thing I do like about you, you stay curious, you stay seeking knowledge, you stay asking the questions you don't know to hopefully get you to the answers that you need to know, right?
Right.
And I love that. That's what you're doing, and then I think that's the key important thing here. Immersing
Mm-hmm.
yourself in it, and then also asking as many questions as you can for the things you don't know, so you can learn the process and then get familiar with what it is you should be doing. So I love that.
Yeah.
Um, so when you look at the screen printing industry, because I feel like the t-shirt industry is always booming, whether it be events, conferences, new products. Um, every time I'm flipping through Instagram, there's like a new t-shirt, like type of brand that out there, or some new amazing slogan or term
Mm-hmm.
that's being coined and turned into a t-shirt. Um,
Right.
but I'm not. I really don't know what the landscape looks like for people of color in the screen print industry. But when you look at it, and based on what you're into now and your experience, what do you think the future has in store for your industry? Like, do you
Mm-hmm.
see it growing? Do you see more people looking like us in it? Like, what's it look like for you when you look at it?
Yeah, I actually want to touch on that because for me, I've only ran into two other black screen printers in San Diego,
Like,
right? And I heard of another shop, but I haven't even been there. That's black owned too. But the two that I ran into, I ended up getting fired from there, right?
really?
Because I wasn't coachable. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's crazy, but that was like to me that hurt because I was like, dang man, I thought we was like, screen printing in San Diego, black owned. Like I'm trying to help y'all win, but for me, I want to be able to be that shop, that screen printing shop that brought people in and kept them in and helped them build, helped them reach their dreams. And that's the beauty about screen printing. Anyone's design can go on a shirt as long as you know the trade. So the expansion is to be able to have other people's ideas be printed pretty much.
yeah,
So that's why Neptune Labs, that's our service
yeah.
for Aphase, Neptune Labs. So that's really important just to be able to help other people get those ideas onto the tee.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Um, so I'm not some of the other podcasts like Joe Rogan. We don't speak for hours, although I think we could, but I don't I'm not gonna go down that route. So let's close off like this. Uh
Yeah.
what projects are you currently working on and where can people find you?
Projects I'm currently working on. So I have a client in my one of my most important clients right now, and she does Kush yoga,
Uh-huh.
and I design for her. So that's a project I'm always working on. Along with the Aphase products, I'm working on a brown tee and some brown shorts, like a little jumpsuit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm still playing around with what I want to design on there. I'm thinking about something that says like "exist forever" on it. But that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Still trying to, taking it slow. And I'm always doing something. So you got to really follow the Instagram to know what I'm working on, because it could be anything, honestly.
You
I
never
don't
know.
really know. Yeah, yeah. It's just whatever's in front of me. That's what I'm working on.
All right. Well,
But
what's the Instagram? Give people the Instagram
okay,
so they can
okay.
follow.
All right. Follow the Instagram at Aphase TV. So that's Aphase TV.
Uh,
And if you want to follow our service, follow Neptune Labs. So that's
okay.
Neptune.labs.
But are these two separate
Mm-hmm.
Instagrams? Neptune Labs and
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. You
And
follow
don't,
one, there's a link to the other.
gotcha. Now, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch all that, I will definitely get all his information. I'm gonna have him send the bio, the links, all that stuff. I'm gonna put the show notes in the bottom of this episode so you can connect with my man Marcus. Marcus, anything else for the people before we log off today? Any words of wisdom? Anything you want to give them?
Support local artists. Support
Ooh,
local artists,
yeah, support local
regardless.
artists,
Mm-hmm.
regardless. Period.
Yeah, I like that. All right.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm really want to thank you too, because I wanted to interview you, and then before I could even ask you, you asked me. You know what I'm saying? So I was
That's
like, that's
love.
crazy.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's all love. And we're gonna make that happen too. We're gonna make that happen too. So thank you for blessing me with this interview. Appreciate you. I salute you, King, for all the work that you're doing and the things that I know you're gonna do and create in the future. Making more of a space for all these creatives out here and inspiring the next generation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And until the next time, make sure you keep running your life and your business. That's it for this episode, and we'll see you all next week with our next guest. Don't know who's going to be yet, but I know we'll have another special guest, just as not live as special as this one, but somebody's going to bring some different energy
Yeah, of
in different
course.
phases in the
Yeah,
wave.
exactly. All right, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate
All
the
right,
platform and
all
the
right.
voice, giving me a voice. Thank you.